Thank you. The Chilliwack Creative Commission is gratefully located on the traditional unceded territory of the Stalo people. It's live from Studio C in Chilliwack, British Columbia. It's the Chilliwack Creative Commission's Creative Third Thursdays. So I am your host. My name is Jeff Edwards, and the third Thursday of the month is always the most exciting day of the month, I think. Anybody else agree with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's sure great to see such a good studio audience in here this afternoon and ready to have some fun here. It's Creative Third Thursdays is a great mingling opportunity. You get to meet other creative people, and then we also meet a featured creative. And I'm really excited about this one. Not only did he bring a bunch of people with him to our studio this afternoon, we are really trying to make sure we make a good connection with the creative community in Chilliwack. And of course, musicians are a very important part of our creative community. So Creative Third Thursdays is working to connect that community, and we're building a community just starting in Chilliwack. So you're all part of it. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
So Creative Third Thursdays is a regular event of the Chilliwack Creative Commission. And we are in, of course, Co-Work Chilliwack in Studio C. And let's say hello to our host here at Creative Third Thursdays, the amazing Tim Calpine. So on behalf of Tim and the crew here at Co-Work Chilliwack, welcome to Co-Work. And for more about the Creative Third Thursdays, check out creativethirdthursdays.com. And for more about the organization, the Creative Commission, check with businessinchilliwack.com. And for more about our events that we put on around town, use our hashtag, CreativeChilliwack. So before we get to this week's featured creative, the inaugural Chili's is coming up. Has anybody heard of this? The Chili Awards? Well, because it's the first time. The Chili Awards is the foremost arts honoring creativity and performance in Chilliwack. And we have a special guest to tell us more before we get to this month's featured creative. So he's appeared in commercials. He has played roles on Supergirl, Supernatural, Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, The In-Betweens, and most recently, Alaska Daily with two-time Oscar winner Hilary Swank. So please welcome Cliff Frank.
Whoa! Wow. Good to see you. I didn't realize I was getting a bio. I was just making some announcements.
Cliff is the inaugural host of the Chili Awards.
Yeah.
And we're grateful you've taken time to come down here. I know you've got to rush off to
Parent-teacher interviews.
Parent-teacher.
The glamorousness. Thank you very much. See, I am a professional, and it's on. So here we go. So as a professional, I knew to take up the microphone, and yeah, I'm ready for this.
So tell us about the Chili Awards.
I thought you were going to ask about the parent-teacher interviews. So it's like, well, I'm pretty sure all my kids are failing, but no. The Chili Awards are happening November 22nd, which is a Friday, happening over at the Chilliwack Cultural Center in the glorious Hub International Theater. And we're going to be giving awards in 11 categories. We're going to celebrate 4 finalists and give out the awards to the winners on that very night. All filmed live. It's going to be a night of music, comedy, entertainment, all in a world-class red carpet event. So hopefully you can make it out.
What are some of the events? Is there an after party that I hear?
There is an after party.
Okay,
so if once you've bought your ticket for $35, then we want you to go to the after party as well, and then you get to experience more music, more food, more drink, as well as there's going to be a tantalizing silent auction that will raise funds to the very first ever Chilliwack Creative Scholarship Fund. Yeah. Who gets it? I don't know. I haven't been given that information yet. So, yeah. It's going to be great.
So it's going to be like an award show with opening the envelope and the winner is. How do people get
the whole bit? So
yeah.
If you go to the Facebook event, so this is very important. You go to the Facebook event to the Chilliwack. What's it called again? Do you remember?
The
Chili's. Yeah, thank you. The Chili's Award. I just want to make sure that you are listening, because that will give me indication whether or not these people are listening and whether those people are listening. So it's the Chili's Awards on the Facebook event page, and right there you can get the ticket link as well as the voting link, and you can vote once per category per day. Once per day per category. So 11 categories. I'd like to tell you what those categories are now, if you don't mind. We've got Best Dramatic Performance. We've got Best Comedic or Musical Performance. We've got Film or Video Production of the Year, as well as Visual Arts Excellence, Musician of the Year, Top Writer. We've got Emerging Artist of the Year, Arts Education Champion Award, Culture Achievement Award, Public Art of the Year, and Uber Achiever Award. So 11 categories. What blew my mind is in every one of these categories, beyond the 4 finalists, there were so many entries, which tells me that Chilliwack has a thriving arts community. And so if you're out there and you're part of the arts community, there are many of you. So this is going to be a very inspiring event, and we hope that you will make it out there.
Awesome. So you can buy tickets for the inaugural Chili Awards now at the Chilliwack Cultural Center as well. And the awards night is November 22nd.
November 22nd, Friday.
Cliff Prang, everybody.
Thank you, Cliff.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to find out if my kids are passing or failing. Thank you so much.
Off to Parent-Teacher Awards. Let's meet our featured creative this month.
Late at night on your drive home, cell phone making your face glow. I said one time, boy, to kill you. If you only knew, favorite band on your t-shirt.
Our featured creative this time is a seriously talented Chilliwack singer-songwriter who began a musical journey influenced by the Beatles and Garth Brooks. After fronting the band Pardon My Striptease and achieving success by charting with an iTunes #1, he, like many artists, was frustrated to learn that didn't necessarily result in financial reward. His debut solo album, Gone, led to performances in pubs and private parties. Then, collaborating with friend Jamie Rowe, he formed Parliament of Owls, releasing a self-titled album that sold over 2,000 copies. This album is available wherever you get your music.
If you only knew.
Please welcome Chilliwack creative, Andrew Christopher.
Thanks for coming, man. It's
my
great
pleasure.
to see you. And I've been spending the whole, like I was telling you earlier, I was spending the whole week listening to Andrew Christopher music. It's been nice.
Yeah.
The album Parliament of Owls. I mean, it's a cool piece of music. I think there's a lot of really effective songs on there. Let's talk a little bit about that clip, though, before we get going into the interview. That's a song you were actually in the process of writing when I came over to your studio.
Yeah, it was really cool, and you had a great idea of me just trying to mess around and work a few things out with the song, and so which helped me finish it. And now, yeah, I think I've got it pieced together. But yeah, one of the many newer songs I've been working on, and it's a little piece, about relationships, friendships, and responsibility. Yeah.
I want you to play that for us a little later, because we only heard a little piece of it. But
Sure.
The songwriting process is always an interesting thing. I've talked to a lot of musicians over the years about where songs come from and everything, and it's always interesting to know. Everybody seems to have their own sort of process. Can you talk a little bit about you've been at it for a long time now. You've been writing songs for how many years?
Yeah, well, I definitely wrote my first few in high school, and I mean, that's coming up on 20 years ago now. And the songwriting process has definitely evolved. I think for a long time, when I was writing on my own, I would really put the pressure on myself to write something. When I was collaborating with, whether it was with my band or Jamie Rowe, as you mentioned in the intro, it was a lot of music coming to me. The music would come to me already pieces of it anyways, and from other bandmates, and then I would write lyrics and melody, which felt a bit more comfortable for me. It was a bit of an easier process to get things done that way. But more recently, it's kind of all coming together nicely on its own, whether it's the music first or the lyrics first, and mostly writing on my own right now. And it's really been coming together well.
You've made an addition to your house and put in a studio, basically a creative space that you're building there, right?
Yeah, had I known this was here, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just used this one more. But
But I mean, having a place where you can go to do your thing, right? That's part of it. I mean, if you want to be a creative entrepreneur.
it is, on the days when I set that time aside and I grab my coffee and head down there, it definitely helps, having your own dedicated space is nice. But one of the main things in my songwriting process is just creating the space to allow it to come a bit more naturally, I would say, is where I'm getting a lot of inspiration from. I've probably written most of my songs while out walking my dogs up around Ryder Lake. Something. I usually spend the first 20 minutes or so listening to music or listening to a podcast or something, and then once I'm done the hard part of the climb, I take the earbuds out and then just let my thoughts run, and a lot of the times there's something cool that kind of pops up or something that I can start humming along, and then get home and grab the guitar. And yeah, that's been a big piece of it for me is creating the space where it could happen a bit more naturally.
I thought it was interesting too. You told me you are a regular journalist, like you write in a diary, basically. What kinds of things are you recording when you do that?
A lot of it is just kind of, well, some of it's stream of consciousness stuff, right? Whatever I'm seeing or thinking about, or
So just putting your brain and getting into the paper.
Yeah, there's some pretty deep thoughts there, personal stuff too. But so it's a bit of everything, and the more important part of it is, I think, just the daily practice, which it's become over the past couple of years has really ignited other writing and just a bit of clarity, I think, and enjoyment in the writing for sure. I really love the feeling of getting a pen on the paper and
Would you say you're an autobiographical songwriter, or?
Yeah, definitely. Most of the songs I write have quite a personal meaning to me.
Yeah.
Some of them are a bit exaggerated. I come up with the idea of something in my life, and then, you can always make a story better. So some of them have that a bit of exaggeration to them, but others are pretty factual things I've been feeling or thinking about. I try and write some just fun ones, but those ones never quite seem as genuine. I think I still do a pretty good job of them, but the ones that are most meaningful to me are, very personal. Yeah.
You've built quite a long career, basically, as a musician and singer-songwriter in Chilliwack. I'm thinking back to the days of Party in the Park, like years ago. Your band, Pardon My Striptease, came to stage. That band eventually, things evolve and things change. What changed for you? Why did that band no longer exist?
Well, I'll start off by saying I look back on those days very fondly. I loved that band and the camaraderie, and it's something I've missed for quite a while, is having that, band atmosphere and brotherhood, if you want to call it that. And, a big piece of that was when I started going through treatment and staying out of the hospital with my daughter, Lilee-Jean, when she was sick, and it just, didn't have the time to rehearse or do gigs and stuff. And eventually it was, a bit of a break there while we were being by Lily's side as much as we could. And then when we talked about, kind of taking off again, getting going, we talked about rebranding, getting a new name, new direction to make sure we're all on the same page. And then one of the guitar players said, well, if we're looking at, going a new direction or starting something new, kind of, he said, I'm not really that into it anymore, I'll be honest. And, he was always kind of more of a backstage guy. And things going on with my daughter, it just kind of fizzled from there, I would say. And we said, okay, well, let's do one last show as this group with Aaron, our guitar player. And we did one last big show, and it was great. And then the other guys and I, we kept doing cover gigs, as a band, Big Shiny, doing 90s band stuff, but just covers. And that was kind of at my direction, because I was getting a lot of gigs just doing cover gigs, and so I would hire them to come and play these shows with me. And yeah, that was kind of the end of Pardon My Striptease. But. So
we alluded to Parliament of Owls, but I also said you were going to play us a song before. So what do you want to do? Talk about Parliament of Owls first, or play your song first?
Well, let's let the audience decide. You want the song now or later?
We want music.
All right. Let's
Here
do
we
it.
go.
Let me just grab this here and get set up. And yeah, so I'll play that song that was in the intro clip. This song came about. A lot of the songs that I write, I have kind of a reference track. You hear a lot of that in the music world. This one was by a great songwriter named Jason Isbell. And just a few of his songs that I heard had this kind of feel and this tempo to them. And that's kind of all I took from it, was the groove that he kind of had in this song I really liked, or a couple of them, and kind of blended it together and thought, okay, that's the feeling I want. And then I think it was the first line that just kind of came to me, and I just kind of ran with it from there, and could see that it was about a bit of tension in relationships or friendships, as I said, and yeah, kind of took off from there. So yeah, I think some of it definitely came on a dog walk, but If You Only Knew is the working title. Yeah, but let's see.
Late at night on the drive home, cell phone making your face glow. I said one time wouldn't kill you. If you only knew your favorite band on your t-shirt. Don't get close, you won't get hurt. Cars driving past, looking at you through the window, enjoying the show. And this don't have to be a sad song. Just learn your part and you can start to sing along. And no, I don't know what you're going through, but I'd like to, baby, if you only knew. If you only knew. Better buckle up, pal, put your money where the drums are. Quit picking up chicks, try picking up your guitar. You said you want it so bad, but you're staring at the booze again. You're gonna ditch out on me now when you're my only friend. Don't have to be a sad song. Just learn your part and you can start to play along. And no, I don't know what you're going through, but I'd like to. If you only knew. This don't have to be a sad song. Learn your part and you can start to sing along. No, I don't know what you're going through, but I'd like to, baby, if you only knew. If you only knew. If
there you go. A debut for you guys.
Worldwide exclusive debut.
That's right. Yeah.
I like it. So we alluded to the fact that Parliament of Owls was such a good release, and there's a song on there called "Sunflower Cafe." I'm not going to ask you to play it for me because it's quite a complicated tune.
Yeah.
But I know we can't play it into the show, but I'd really like to hear a little bit about how that song came together.
Sure, yeah. Well, have you ever been to the Sunflower Cafe?
No, I have not.
So there is a real Sunflower Cafe. It's in Crescent Beach, right, in White Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, it might have closed down, my wife says. So sorry you didn't get to visit it. But our kids were in the Crescent Beach Swim Club one summer, so they would go there for activities at this outdoor pool, and they would do volleyball and all these other sports around the pool as well. So some mornings we would go to the Sunflower Cafe, grab a muffin or coffee or whatever, and then take the kids to the pool and hang out. And something caught my eye. I don't know, the Sunflower Cafe, cool name, I thought. And there's this blue building, and or on the outside it had a big, bright blue brick wall. And then I noticed as I was sitting in my car that it had this really old broken window, like shattered window pane. And just looked at that and thought, oh, okay. Went to the park, and I don't think I had my guitar with me, but went to the park and had a pen and paper, at least, in the car, and started thinking about the blue wall and the broken window. Just a nice alliteration there. And, so that's the first line of the song, I believe, is blue wall and the broken window, sunflower seeds and ladybugs. Just kind of picking out pieces of the park where I was at or whatever, and in the beauty of that all. And so I think some of it has a nice kind of childhood feel to it, and also a sentiment of not trying too hard to do too much, and just kind of letting things work out and appreciating, what you do have, and the beauty of the good and bad that's inevitably going to be around in your life. Yeah.
So if this was an FM radio show, we'd probably just cut right to that track right now.
Yes.
If you're watching at home, hit the pause button, go listen to the song Sunflower Cafe, and then come back to the show.
And you'll know. Yeah. And all you guys can go check it out. Yeah, Spotify or Apple Music. It's all out there.
It's worth it. Worth it taking a break. So Sunflower Cafe, Halifax Beer.
Yeah,
that's a tremendous song. Oh Brother.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
It's
you like
based
that
on that very old bluegrass song, but it's so cool.
Yeah.
Vacation. I mean, I'm going to be playing that on my vacation.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites.
So all excellent songs from Parliament of Owls.
Yeah, thanks.
So we can't play them into the episode, but I just did want to point to them anyway.
Cool.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit about how many creative people, or at least the small number of creative people I've known, do reinvent themselves from time to time and try out new different things. And one of those things that you've done is podcasting. And tell us a little bit about the AC show, because that was a huge effort.
It was, yeah. I'm quite proud of it looking back, and getting to 100 episodes, I think, and over the course of a couple of years. And I always had an interest in broadcast journalism and talk radio. I really started enjoying, and then got into listening to podcasts as well, and thought, hey, this is something I could try out. I had all the equipment, from being a musician, and knew how to record. And so I just started running with it, and I enjoyed it. It had its time in my life, and you never know, it might be something in the future again that I pick back up. But as kids got busier and life got busier, it was more so a hobby I had. It was making a few bucks a month kind of thing, but someone said, you only have time for 1.5 hobbies when you have kids. So that one got the axe for now, but I do feel like in the future it could be something that I pick up again.
Right. What did you learn from your podcasting experience? What did you learn about that process?
Well, one thing I learned, is how much I don't know. That's the thing, right? You got to know what you don't know, and there's a lot out there that I wish I could have spoken to more eloquently, and really made a point on that show about a few more things that then I realized, okay, if I'm ever going to come back to this, I want to make sure, I'm a bit more knowledgeable in each aspect that I want to talk about, and the things that I am passionate about. I want to make sure I can articulate that to my audience. I think there's a lot of good messages in some of those episodes. Like I said, I am proud of it, but it really showed me how much more I could learn, how much more better prepared I could be for a show like that as I was starting to get a few more listeners and different guests who I think had a lot to share as well. And so when I do, or if I do get back into it, I'll be, just a bit more mature about it, I would say, Yeah.
You posted on social media that appearing here today was going to be the start of a new direction as an artist. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think the quick short answer is gearing my career more towards my original music and being a bit more creative, and thinking of myself more as an artist rather than just a performer or singer. And mostly because, as I said, these songs just seem to be pouring out of me, and I can barely keep up with the songs I'm writing, and it's something that I feel very passionate about, and I feel a bit more of a purpose that I've found that will be more fulfilling to me. That purpose would be sharing my music and in detail and expressing that emotion to people and kind of helping people in that way, rather than just doing all the cover gigs that I do and singing other people's songs. I would really like to start doing more of my own stuff, so that's kind of the direction I would like to go. Just putting myself out there a bit more and encompassing a lot of teaching and support to other or people who just enjoy music or who want to enjoy it more, whether it's kids or adults who would like to experience music, whether that's kind of just in like a jam setting or trying their hand at songwriting as well and collaborating and just being a bit more involved in the actual art of music.
Well, I think the audience would agree that that's a good direction for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So you can follow Andrew Christopher on Instagram, Andrew Christopher Music. All of us here at Creative Third Thursdays wish you the very best.
Thank you.
And I hope you'll come back and see us again.
I would love to. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a beautiful space. I'm really excited to see this in Chilliwack.
Let's hear it for Andrew Christopher, everyone.
Thanks.
So I want to say thank you again to actor-comedian Cliff Prang for telling us about the Chili's earlier. Cliff will be our featured creative December or January. Actually, I think we penned it in. December 19th, Cliff Prang will be our Creative Third Thursdays featured creative. So keep an eye on us on our social media using the hashtag Creative Chilliwack. It's always good. You can search that and you can see all the different events that Chilliwack Creative Commission does and hear about new things that are coming out from us. So Creative Third Thursdays. I think it's time to say I'm thirsty. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.